So now it's time to get underway with our penultimate final of the opening round of the season. It's DD2 and DD2 Masters. Let's take you through the starting grid. On pole position will be Denmark's Frederik Seves Christensen, who has got a perfect score so far. He'll be joined on the front row by Nicolas Guillaume, with Maxim Deritz and Maxim Shurkov completing row 2. Nikolai Christensen leads the way in DD2 Masters. He will have Nikita Genzer alongside on row 3. Hannes Morin and Mats Johan Overhoff will be on row 4, completing the top 10. It's going to be Estonia's Ragnar Veres and France's Jules Cousin. Thomas Berstens will be joined by the Netherlands' Imke Arts on row 6, with Noah Hip and William Christensen on the following row. Dylan Lahaye, Thomas Rudokas, Martin Zinovskis, Victor Sandin, Rafael Jesus and Carl Clevaux round out the top 20. Completing the 36-strong grid will be Luca Neuenhausen, Kian de Brandt, Christoph Capitan, Victor Frostbay, Marco Tredenpreis, Axel Goes, Louis Koch, Jan Eckstein, Brian Anker, Michael Becker, Niels Berler, Lucas Dolezal, Kamil Kubera, Thomas Piet, Sang Hang Moon and Maximilian Adolf rounding out the grid. So this final will take place over 14 minutes, plus an additional lap. The red lights are once again ignited on the starting gantry as the field starts blipping the throttles, revving their engines to help the oil circulate around the cylinder and also the associated components. So Seves Christensen and Guillaume will control the rolling start as they exit out of the final corner. Revs rise, lights are on, it's a full start, we're going round again. So at a snail's pace come the DD2 and DD2 Masters field. The mind games are in full effect once again. The red lights are on the gantry, and now they need to start getting themselves in complete order and ready to go racing. So far, it's been an RS competition domination, pretty much, for DD2 and Masters, with Zebis Christensen and Nikolai Christensen leading the way. However, we go into the final once again. Second time Varsking lights are on. Lights are out this time. The final starts right now. As Maxime Derix looking for the inside line and has just gone over and onto the back of Nicolas Guillaume. I cannot believe that. Two of the main protagonists. Guillaume stomps away into the distance. Derix absolutely unhappy with that situation that just transpired. Something had to give, and that's exactly what happened. So at Marshall Post 3 is Nicolas Guillaume. Maxime Derix, unfortunately, walks his way over to Marshall Post 2. Two of the main contenders for the victory in the final are out within the first couple of corners. And what does that mean? Well, RS competition have a stranglehold. The DD2 leader and the DD2 Masters leader are running 1-2 on the road. In third place, it's Estonia's Ragnar Veres. He's being followed by Hannes Morin from Sweden. Maxim Shurko battling away with Nikita Genza. Imke Arts, Thomas Birstins, Dylan LaHaye and Jules Cousin, who round out the top 10 overall. And already Veres has pulled away from Hannes Morin. And Morin now under siege. He's just had Shurko go through, Genza go through. Is Imke Arts going to be able to do the same? Through at turn 10, the answer's no. And Imke Arts wrestles with the steering wheel as there's slight contact from her front bumper to the rear bumper of Hannes Morin. 2 laps in, we are down to 34. And there goes Imke Arts up the inside of Hannes Morin. Who else made the move? Thomas Birstins, as Dylan LaHaye is also not having the easiest of times out there. He's just been passed for 9th, thanks to Jules Cousin. Noah Hipp was also trying to get through on the 4:28 from SP Motorsports, and a lunge and a half from Jules Cousin on Hannes Morin. LaHaye gets through, Noah Hipp also gets through. William Christensen is just behind Hannes Morin as they run into turn number 10. But leading the way is Fredrik Zebis Christensen. Nikolai Christensen leading Masters is second. Ragnar Veres, last year's Grand Finals champion in Bahrain representing Estonia, has got definitely pace and then some. Genza in fourth has just set the fastest lap of this race. 54.865 seconds. And now Noah Hipp trying to go up the inside at turn 6 on Jules Cousin. That was not going to work because there was not enough room for it to be facilitated. Imke Arts, Dylan LaHaye, William Christensen and Hannes Morin round out the top 12. LaHaye going for a move on Imke Arts. A little bit of a clash, right front to left rear wheel, and Imke Arts still stays ahead of the Belgian. And I can tell you this much, Ragnar Veres has got plenty of time to try and close on in and chase down and pass Fredrik Zebis Christensen. But first, he's got to get rid of one driver in front of him who won't really be 100% concerned, or may otherwise be concerned about the fact that, yes, he's running P2 for the team overall, but he's leading in DD2 Masters. The next best placed person is down in 18th, and that's Christophe Capitan. So Virus now has to pull the trigger, get past, and go hunting. And a tighter apex taken by the Estonian through turn number 10. So Sebis Christensen's lead over Nikolai Christensen, just over 1.1 seconds. Virus is in the window, thinks better of it, through turns 1 and 2. Holds back, waits for another opportunity. But the longer he waits, the longer he decides to bide his time, the less time he will have on this circuit to try and chase down Fredrik Sebis Christensen out in front. What this could also do is bring into it this could bring in, along with Ragnar Virus, bring in Nikita Genza. Nikita Genza's been a little bit under the radar this weekend, hasn't had the best of luck, but we still have 34 drivers circulating. Now it's the case of, let's have a look at the lap times. Christensen is as quick, if not quicker, than Virus. Another new fastest lap of the race by Genza. Genza now, because Virus has not been able to get past Nikolai Christensen for second place on the road, has the opportunity to chase. Right, 3 drivers have dropped down the order. Oh, right, that's the 529 that has just gone for a moment. That is Jakub Kubera. Thomas Rudokas, Kian de Brandt and Lucas Dolizal have also ended up, well, there is a kart stricken on the outskirts of the entry to turn 8. So we could be down to 31. Right, there's the move that Virus needed to do, and he's got it done. But now Genza's got to do that move as well. Christensen will not let up. But it's about now, with 7.5 minutes or just under remaining, plus that additional lap, that Virus has to go hunting after Sebis Christensen. And as the late Murray Walker used to say, it's one thing catching somebody, it's something completely different trying to pass them. And that's the task that Ragnar Virus has got in front of him. There you see a Birilat chassis. That looks to be the one of Rudokas stricken. Real shame for the young Lithuanian. Last year's Latvian Championship managed to compete with quite a few prestigious talents from the Baltic states. And there is Nikita Genza up the inside. There we go. Genza now has reacted a lap later. Oh, and we've got a wrong starting position penalty going to Louis Koch from Germany in the 4:08. So now, because Genza had, well, ended up passing Nikolai Christensen 1 lap later than Ragnar Virus, Virus now has a little bit of distance for him to manage, but then it also gives him the motivational push to go after the race leader. So we're on lap 9, 6 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. So Sebis Christensen leads. Virus second, Genza third. Nikolai Christensen, who leads Masters, is fourth. Fifth, Shurko. Sixth, Berstins. Hip, Lahaye, Uzan and William Christensen round out the top 10. And Fredrik Sebis Christensen still doing a very, very good job, but there has been a change. William Christensen up the inside through at turn 2 on Jules Cousin from Dams Racing for P9. So we are down to 31 drivers, the last of which being Sung Hung Moon in 30th and Kamil Kubera, who rounds out 31st. Imke Arts and Hannes Morin are 11th and 12th respectively. Ahead of Luca Neuenhausen, Mats Johan Overhoff and Martin Zinovskis, they complete the top 15. with Victor Sendan, Christophe Capitan, Marco Tredenpreis, Victor Frostbay, and the UAE's Rafael Jesus rounding out the top 20. And there is Christophe Capitan, who's got Jesus right behind. And then also the 430, that's Victor Frostbay. Carl Clebot is just outside of the top 20, running 21st, but also more importantly P3 in Masters. But in the meantime, Capitan getting slightly caught out there throughout of turn number 10. Rafael Jesus making the move through. But the race lead is not only not being relinquished, the lead is being extended. So Fredrik Sebis Christensen nearly 2 seconds ahead of Ragnar Veres, with Nikita Genza about 0.6 of a second behind the Estonian in P3. So Carl Clebot has the opportunity. Here comes the move up the inside. That's Marco Tredenpreis. Great move on the 4.48 of Manolo Sendat, I believe. No, Victor Sendat. Some other changes for position are happening. Dylan LaHaye getting very, very close to getting into the top 7. He's got Noah Hip and Maxime Shurko in front. Maxime Shurko's just lost out 2 places to Hip and to Dylan LaHaye through into turn 7 off of the Europlan. So that demotes Shurko, who was running 6th, now 8th. So we have got a new fastest lap of the race, and it is set by the race leader. Would have been more than 3 laps ago that Fredrik Sebis Christensen opened up the taps on that RS competition Tony Kart chassis and put in a 54.490. Might be the fastest lap of the day for DD2. As LaHaye deep on the brakes into turn 7. Noah Hip is bringing him along with Shurko. Try and close in on Thomas Birsins. So race leader about to complete lap number 14. 3 to go as he crosses the line with 1 minute and 12 remaining. So that will give us another 3 laps in total. And his lead over Ragnar Veres, who's done everything in his power to try and chase him down. Fredrik Sebis Christensen has been on another level. At the B&L kickoff, he won the event starting down in 12th and made up 11 places throughout the final to get to the top step of the rostrum. So this could be one of the drivers we need to keep our eyes on this season. When you look at who were in the top 2 last year, when you had Tom Bracken and Enzo Boll fighting over the title, it did come down to the wire here at Genk late last year. Penultimate lap of the DD2 and DD2 Masters final is very much underway. And as Fredrik Sebis Christensen makes his way out towards turn number 6, the timer as he exits the corner expires. 2 laps to go, including this one. And Thomas Birsins fending off Noah Hip for what is 5th place on the road They're not too far behind the man that has been dominant all weekend long in DD2 Masters, Nikolaj Christensen. So another time penalty coming in, 5.88. Thomas Peart gets a 5-second time penalty for push to pass. But our race leader, Fredrik Sebes Christiansen from Denmark in the 4.33, proudly sporting the white, black and fluorescent green colours of RS competition, makes his way through into turn 6. There's always going to be a driver in this category that if they got in front and kept pushing, running their own race, no one could touch them. And that has very much been personified, not just in Max DD2, but also in DD2 Masters. What a run it's been for this young man. Was a senior last year, now out of the final corner. The streak continues. Sebes Christiansen does it here in Belgium. He wins by a country mile, 3.3 seconds ahead of Estonia's Ragnar Veres. And that is what it means to this young Danish hotshot. Everyone thought he would be one they could battle with, but he proved them wrong every single time. The lights went out. Pole position in time qualifying, 2 heat wins, a super heat win, and now the final. An impressive and dominant display by the 4.33, finishing ahead of Ragnar Veres. And Nikita Genza will make it 3 different nationalities on the DD2 podium as he picks up P3. The dominant run in the Masters class continues for Denmark's Nikolaj Christensen. Was running at 1.P2 after the lap 1 incident between Nicolas Guillaume and Maxime Dirix. He finishes 4th ahead of Thomas Birstins, Noah Hipp, Dylan LaHaye, Maxime Shirko, William Christensen and Jules Cousin round out the top 10. Imke Arts, Hannes Morin, Luca Neuenhausen, Mats Johan Overhoff and Marco Drettenpreis round out the top 15. Martin Zianovskis, Victor Frostbay, Rafael Jesus, Victor Sendin, and your runner-up in DD2 Masters final this weekend, Christophe Capitain from France. Jan Eckstein, Brian Anker, Axel Goes, and rounding up the top 3 in DD2 Masters, Germany's Michael Becker. Another podium where there'll be 3 different nationalities on it. He finishes ahead of Thomas Peart, Louis Koch, Karl Klebo, Maximilian Adolf, Niels Böhler, Kamil Kubera, Sung Hung Moon. Well, it has changed because Thomas Peart got a 5-second time penalty for push to pass Louis Koch, a 5-second time penalty for wrong starting position. Kamil Kubera and Sung Hung Moon round out the finishers in that race. Rudokas, De Brandt, Dolezal out on lap 5, and the biggest drama of all on lap 1 at turn 2, Nicolas Guillaume and Maxime Dirix were out on the spot. But it's double delight for Denmark in DD2 and DD2 Masters here in Belgium.